see. All right, and we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are watching this live. This is the voice and face of Dr. Olabintan, CEO and co-founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center here in the good city of Mansfield, Texas, where we believe in helping patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. I am very excited to have with us today the one and only Dr. Michelle Quirk. I don't know if some of you remember her. She was here with us about a year ago or so. Yes, wow, a whole year has gone by. And I'm so happy to have you here today discussing the topic, Doc, the idea of running scares me, help me. Yes. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to you, Dr. Michelle Quirk. Thank you for being here. My first question to you is, can you kindly introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back, Dr. Tolu. It's really great to be here. I'm Michelle Quirk. I'm a pediatrician in Philadelphia, and I am a run coach and the founder of Mindful Marathon, my run coaching business, where I help make running easy and fun for busy professionals.
And yes, you do. Yes, you do. I am a testimony to that. So thank you for what you do. I am thankful that you do what you do. Okay. All right. Now, that being said, people are probably wondering, well, how did you get into being a run coach? Like, how did you, like, why? Is there a story behind that? Like, what got you into that?
Yes, of course. I think the most interesting part of this is that I was not always a runner and I was scared of running too. So I was really not much of an athlete as a kid. And I really didn't like running. I wasn't very good at it. And it hurt every time I tried to do it. So I was one of those people who started and stopped and quit a lot of times, really before it stuck. And so about 10 years ago, so I had just finished my residency and I had a lot going on in my life, like a move, a marriage, illness and death of a parent, lots going on all at once. And I found myself in this place where I was, talking to my patients and families about taking care of themselves and getting exercise and eating well and all of these things. And I wasn't doing those things myself. And so I decided I was going to try running again. I just decided I was going to lace up my sneakers and go around the block, and just give myself 5 or 10 minutes because that's what I was telling all of my families to do. And so that's how I started back with running, and it stuck. It stuck that time. And I just kept going around the block a few times a week, maybe 3 times a week. I would go 5 or 10 minutes. And then my husband and I signed up for our first 5K a couple of months after that. And after I ran that race, I've been running ever since.
Wow. Awesome. Hi, Mitra. She's joining us. Oh, by the way, if you're joining live, please hashtag live. If you're joining the replay, hashtag replay. Now, there are quite a few things you said, Dr. Quirk, that I wanted to kind of highlight. Number one is the fact that you were not always a runner.
Yeah.
Right. Something like a lot of people think that running is for those who were runners, maybe in their youth, or have a natural athletic build, or have a tendency or gift for running. But I like the fact that you dispelled it in your own life, that you can actually be a runner. Anyone could be a runner.
Yeah.
And some of you are probably wondering, well, why are we talking about running this Wednesday morning? Like, what is it with running? But the whole point of this is to encourage some form of exercise, because we know that exercise is linked to living long and well. So running can be an option for you, and we'll discuss more as we go along some of the, the mindsets or the thoughts that sometimes hinder people from thinking that they can run. And I'm a testimony to that too. I didn't think I could run. But when I spoke with you, when you gave me some of the tips that you did, and I'll probably not tell too much of that because I want you to say it, I'm surprised that I can be a runner. Okay, so anyone can be a runner. It's something that you can use to help improve your quality of life. So, all right, next question. Now, we're going to go over some of the hiccups to running. And I call them hiccups because they're things that, I don't want to do this. I don't think I can do this. So hiccup number one, Doc. I have someone saying, I don't know how to run because I feel like I will run out of breath.
Yeah.
I feel like I run out of breath. What would you say to that, Doc?
I will say we all know how to run, right? Like if a bear was chasing you, you'd be on your way, right? Okay.
We all know how to run. I got to write that down. Okay, go ahead. Yes, yes.
Okay, but the out of breath part, yes. If the bear is chasing you, yes, you'd be out of breath. A lot of people have fears about how they will feel, whether it's their breath being too much, their heart rate speeding up, things hurting. There's a lot of fears about running, and I understand that. So one of the things I like to tell people is just that you don't have to go all or nothing, right? Like you don't have to lace on your sneakers and go run for a half hour, right? That's actually how I kept starting and stopping so many years, because I thought I'm going to go and I'm going to try to run 3 miles as fast as I can go. And it would always feel horrible because I was not trained up to do that. So there's a way that you can start much more gradually. It's a much kinder, gentler approach for yourself. And so you start where you're at. And wherever that is, that could be the couch, that could be from a regular walking routine, that could be, I have a lot of cyclists who want to try running as well. So you start where you are and you put in a little bit at a time. It doesn't mean that you have to wake up tomorrow and go out there and run for 30 minutes when you haven't been doing that. So we really focus on where you're starting from and then finding your easy pace, the pace that makes you feel good. For where your fitness is at right now.
Wow. And I like how you emphasize that running is not supposed to be like a punishment, like you got to exercise. Yeah. Like you can actually feel good doing it, because that's what you're alluding to. And you're encouraging to start where you're at, set, small, actionable, small, reasonable steps for yourself and start. And then you could go up as time goes on. So start where you're at. And we all know how to run. So there's no excuse there. We all know how to run. As long as you have 2 limbs, your feet, we all know how to run. Okay. And find your pace, your pace. All right. So the next hiccup, and this one, I is also personal. I don't look like a runner. You know how you're walking down the street, you're trying to walk, fresh eyes. You go in at your own pace and you see a runner walk by you, fit body, and they look like, for a second, they look like they go in slow motion and arms are ripped, legs are ripped, and they're having a conversation with you as they're running. Like, hi, how are you? Good morning. It's a nice day. And I'm like, how is she doing that? And you give them a side eye, like, man, I can never look like that. So I'm not a runner. So what would you say to that? Doc, I don't look like a runner. I have issues with that. What would you say?
I would say I had the same thought about that, especially when I would show up to my first couple of races. So I would look around and I would see the people at the front of the race, of the starting line, and I would think I do not look like them and I am not as fast as they are. What I have learned over time, especially at a race, if you kind of stand in the middle or you stand toward the back, you find everyone. You find a lot of shapes and sizes and realize that you can identify with those people. So maybe you don't identify with the super athletes and the very fast runners at the beginning by that start line, but everyone else, runners come in all shapes and sizes. And I would encourage you, maybe after this is done, if you head over either on my social media account or my website, I have pictures of my runners and I have a nice collage over there. And so you can see, we've got men, women, all ages. My mom runs, she's in her 70s. So wow. We come in all ages, shapes, and sizes. So don't let that deter you.
I love that. Runners come in all shapes and sizes. Be encouraged. And remember, it's your race to run. It's your life. And be encouraged to do things that help you feel better, even if you don't look like the people you think you should look like. You shouldn't. Love who you are. Yeah. All right, love who you are. That's really, really important. And Mitra's commenting, Dr. Mitra's commenting, she said, exactly, at a race, I was almost embarrassed to stretch as I was comparing myself to the others. And this may sound a little frou-frou or woo-woo, but you should only be in competition really with yourself to become a better version every day. That's really important to live in well too. because a lot of things, I'm sure a lot of these comments we're discussing can be applied to different areas in our lives, right? Not comparing yourself to others. So please own your journey, your run journey too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next hiccup, Doc. I'll be honest with you. When it rains, I'm like, yay! I have a valid excuse not to run. Like it, even though it's drizzling, I'm like, oh. So for those who are wondering, well, I live in an area where it rains a lot, or it's raining, I'm not running. What would you say to that, Doc?
Okay, I think I have 3 things to say about the rain. Okay, so number 1, safety first. So if it's lightning, I don't go outside.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have access to a treadmill, that's an option. I don't love running on a treadmill. I really like running outside. So if it's lightning, I mean, sometimes I do. We have access to a treadmill, so I'll do that. But I actually really like running in a light rain. It's very relaxing. But what you want to do is have a piece of gear to help keep it out of your eyes. So some kind of hat or a visor, like something with a brim, so that you can see where you're going. I've been out there a few times, and it's coming down and it's hard to see. And then it makes it a lot less enjoyable. So if you're going to go out in the rain, you just have to dress for it. A steady, solid rain, it's not always the easiest, but if you're only going to be out there for, 30 minutes or so, just make sure when you get back inside, you get warm. So you take a hot shower and get into warm clothes. That would be the biggest thing, because you can really cool down your body temperature. But in the summer, sometimes it feels really nice to go out there and get cool in a rain. So yeah, just stay away from the lightning, get a hat, and then make sure you get warm when you get inside. But you give it a try, you could just try it once, see how it goes.
Awesome. And you're right. When it's really hot, that cool rain definitely helps. And I like that you alluded to the fact that you said it's relaxing. So the sound of rain, you know how sometimes you use that to help you sleep. The sound of rain, you have a natural surround sounds. I like that. So safety, she emphasized safety, very, very important. Of course, these are suggestions. Of course, talk to your run coach. Talk to your physician, whenever you're going to start any kind of exercise plan. And she said, when it's lightning, just stay indoors, okay? Stay indoors. Thank you, Doc. And Mintra is like, yes, we're reading. You're reading my mind. Awesome. So these questions are applicable to those who are watching. So the next one is hiccup number 3. Doc, I'm afraid my joints are going to hurt, because people tend to say when you start exercising, like your whole body hurts. What would you say to that?
Yeah, a lot of people have hangups with running. A lot of people tell me like, oh, but my knees are going to hurt. Like it's a definite possibility. What I would say for this is that you start gradually, right? Okay. So we start from where you're at. One of the techniques that I like to share, and I think I shared this with you when you started, the mailbox technique. Okay, so if you are a regular walker, one way to try running in a way that is very gentle and will just give you a little taste is to insert little intervals of jogging into your walking routine. So if you're out there, let's say you go for a walk for 30 minutes, you can walk for 10 minutes, and then in the next 10 minutes, you pick a couple of mailboxes to jog between in your neighborhood. And you can do, stop signs, telephone poles, whatever works. I mean, some people get very funny with me and they're like, well, do I live in the city or in the country where the mailboxes are very far? And, like you want to jog for 10 to 15 seconds. How about that?
Okay, that sounds fair. That's
10 to 15 seconds, and then you walk again until you feel recovered. And so, obviously, if anything hurts while you're doing that, then you back off. But if everything feels fine, you're good to go. And then you can finish up with a 10-minute walk at the end. So you get a nice little workout there.
Awesome. So start where you're at. And you mentioned those who are walkers. So those who are walkers, they can add spurts of running. But you had mentioned earlier about if you're a couch potato, you can even start just by walking, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. If you're on the couch, I would start by walking. Maybe get into a regular walk routine, like 3 times a week, work up from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And then you can try the mailbox technique.
All right. Awesome. I like that. Now, I have a question from one of our viewers. She says, after a run walk, if my knees hurt, how do I troubleshoot the cause? Is it an issue of the shoes or the run path? What would you say?
There could be many things, many variables here.
Okay.
Number one would be check the footwear. How
Okay.
many miles are on the sneakers? So running sneakers do wear out after the general rule is 300 to 500 miles. So
Okay.
maybe you've had the sneakers for a while and you're not sure, how many miles you've put on them, especially if you're not in a regular routine. So the sneakers might be the first place to start.
Okay.
The second would be to vary your terrain. So if you are walking or running a lot on concrete, the roads, the sidewalks, maybe try a trail or even a track. It's a little bit more give there. It could be the surface. What I usually say, if people have soreness, we have the soreness rules. So if you're sore after you get back, I would at least take a day or two off and then try again and see if it comes back. So you can change one variable at a time. Maybe you get the new sneakers, you try that. Maybe you vary the terrain and you try that. Maybe you have to go slower. That could be another one. Maybe you're going too fast on the jog interval, or maybe you're going too long on the jog interval and you need to take that down a little bit. So there are multiple things you can tweak, but you don't want to change everything all at once because then you'll never know which one it is.
Okay. So the key is try one change every so
One
often.
at a time. Yeah.
One at a time. Okay. Very good. I hope that was helpful. Next hiccup. So someone's looking, listening, and saying, you know what, this sounds good, but I'm not sure how to start. Like that seems to be like, how do I get myself to start? How would you encourage this person?
I think a lot of people get hung up on gear. Like they have this, like, I'm not sure how to start. I don't think I have the right gear. I need all of these things in order to do it. And it holds people back. I think, the gear, it can seem intimidating, I think. So the first thing is really all you need is a pair of sneakers. And if you have something in your closet, I would say just use what you have, and you can always put it on your calendar to go to your local running store, on the weekend, and then get fitted for a pair if you really want to start a regular routine. But I always say use what you have, so that you don't get hung up on things that you need and then never actually get out the door. And the other thing I would say is it takes a little bit of planning to figure out the time. So a lot of people have this time hurdle, like, I don't know where I'm going to fit this in. I don't have a regular routine. I just kind of fit exercise in wherever I can. So I encourage everyone to kind of look at their schedule for the week ahead and try to write down, let me see where I can fit it in. So that way you take out that hurdle. I'm all about removing hurdles. So you got your gear, use what you've got your, time in the schedule. And then just remember, start low, go slow. That's the best advice I could give to get started. Like you're not in a race to the finish, right? You are trying to come up with a routine that you enjoy so that you'll be consistent with it. So you start low, go slow, work to your ability. And wherever that is fine. I will say, we were talking about, runners at the race, the very talented runners at the beginning there. Most runners are very lovely. The running community is wonderful. And we are all very welcoming to new runners in the sport. Like everybody's very encouraging. And I'm not the fastest runner out there, but I'm one of those people who's always saying hi and trying to talk to the walkers and the runners, right? So we want more people to join us in the sport. So don't be afraid about that. Don't let that and fears about that hold you back.
I love it. Use what you have, put it on your schedule, make it a priority because you're worth it, and start low and go slow. Awesome, 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 awesome. I love this. I have one more question. I was going to say hiccup number 6. What if when I don't feel like it? Like how do you get yourself? How do you keep yourself going?
Yeah. Two things. I think one that works for me, I usually run first thing in the morning. It helps me to lay out my clothes the night before. So
Okay.
they're right next to the bed. So I pretty much fall out of the bed and into the running clothes. So if you, yeah, if you don't, you wake up and you really don't feel like it, or it's raining, put on the clothes. And usually by the time the clothes are on and the shoes are on, you'll be okay. Now, the other thing I will say is if you're still lacking motivation, like your hand is on the doorknob, you're in your clothes, you're in your shoes, your hand is on the doorknob and you're like, oh, I don't want to go. Then I give myself this. I say, okay, I'm just going to go out there for 10 minutes. I'm just going to give myself 10 minutes. I might have a 45-minute run on my plan that I was planning to do, but I'll say, okay, I'm really not feeling it today, but let me go out. Let me give myself 10 minutes. And I would say 99% of the time I've been able to finish what I had started once I'm out there and I'm going. It's really getting going. That's the trouble. Like in the morning, I'm tired, the alarm's going off. Like yeah. Put your clothes next to the bed, put them on, and then just get out the door. That is the key. Get out the door.
Awesome. And it's so interesting. By the time you're done, you don't regret it because you feel better.
Never.
That won't be a rush. You don't regret it. And one thing I usually like to say is that there are a lot of things we do that we don't feel like, but we do them because we know how important they are, like getting dressed, like brushing your teeth and stuff like that. We do them because we know they're important, even when we don't feel like it. This is one I'll say also to add to that list of things to do because we know that we're better for it, and it's good for us, right?
Yeah.
This has been very, very helpful. I took a lot of notes, and I'm looking forward to people watching this and gleaning from it and maybe starting their own run journey. But people are wondering, Doc, where can I find you? Where can I find out about your program, your races, your everything you do? Where can people find you, Doc?
You can find me, I think the easiest place is on my website. It's mindful-marathon.com. And there's lots of information there. There's a blog, there's a YouTube channel, lots of helpful videos to getting started. There's a workshop for newer runners that you can download for free. And there's also a walk plan too. So if you are on the couch and running still sounds scary after all of this, there is a 1-month walk plan to get you going over there as well. So yeah, head over to the website.
Awesome. And what I'm going to do is after this live, I'm going to post all of that there. And you get a lot of free items. You already have the 1-month calendar to get you going. And she shares a lot of tips through her blog. I read them. They're very, very useful. So I'd encourage you to go check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope to do this again with you sometime soon, maybe not a whole year in between.
No, that went by way too fast.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Dr. Mitra. And the other 2 people who are watching who I can't see on the screen, I apologize, but thank you for watching. Please share. It is good to share. Okay, share this with someone who you know will find this useful. That being said, if you or anyone you know in the Mansfield, Texas area is looking for an awesome, a thorough, passionate family physician, I am she. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.